Burning Grid, a professional grid-based Forex trading EA focused on stability and long-term consistency, developed by Magma Software Solutions. Before we start, let me remind you what Burning Grid is doing. This is a grid system, but it has a hard exit as security feature. That means it does not hold positions forever like other grids, and it does not use martingale logic. We have 3 risk levels, so people with different account sizes can use it. And you can trade up to 35 symbols at the same time, so be aware that you can achieve a bigger drawdown when using a small account balance.
Let's start with the low risk profile. June was a much quieter month compared to May as the market entered its typical summer trading phase. Lower volatility and reduced market participation resulted in fewer trading opportunities across most currency pairs. During the month, the early exit engine closed 3 strategies with controlled losses. While these exits temporarily reduced the account balance, they also released capital that could immediately be allocated to new trading opportunities instead of remaining tied up in unproductive positions. In the low-risk profile, where only 2 strategies per symbol are active simultaneously, the impact of these controlled exits is naturally more noticeable than in the higher-risk configurations. Even under these conditions, the remaining strategies successfully compensated for most of the realized losses, allowing the account to finish the month with a positive return of 0.42%. Maximum drawdown reached 17.73%, remaining well within the expected range for this profile. June was not a month of spectacular returns, but it perfectly demonstrates one of Burning Grid's core principles. Instead of keeping losing positions alive indefinitely, the early exit engine actively frees capital when predefined conditions are met, allowing the system to focus on fresh opportunities with higher profit potential. Overall, June was a quiet but disciplined month, proving that effective risk management is just as important as generating profits during strong market phases. Let's continue with the medium risk profile. Just like the low-risk configuration, the early exit engine closed 3 strategies with controlled losses during the month. The difference becomes apparent when looking at the overall portfolio. Because the medium risk profile runs a larger number of independent strategies in parallel, the realized losses were compensated much more effectively by profitable systems that continued to trade successfully. As a result, the account finished June with a solid gain of 3.76%, despite experiencing the same number of early exit events as the low-risk profile. Another interesting observation is the drawdown. At 15.43%, it remained very close to the level seen in the low-risk profile. This reflects one of the core design principles behind Burning Grid. While the medium risk configuration operates with more active strategies, it also benefits from a significantly higher account balance built through stronger long-term growth. The combination of increased portfolio diversification and higher account equity keeps the overall risk profile well balanced, allowing drawdown levels to remain surprisingly consistent across all 3 configurations. Overall, June once again demonstrated the strength of portfolio diversification. Even after 3 strategies were closed by the early exit engine, the remaining systems generated enough profit to offset those losses and produce another positive month. This is exactly how Burning Grid is designed to operate. Individual strategies may come and go, but the portfolio as a whole continues moving forward. Finally, let's take a look at the high-risk profile. Just like the low and medium risk configurations, the early exit engine intervened 3 times during June. These were not predefined strategy exits. Instead, the early exit engine identified that market conditions had changed significantly for those individual strategies, making their original trading assumptions less favorable. Rather than keeping capital tied to positions with reduced statistical potential, the system closed those strategies early and reallocated the available margin to new opportunities. Thanks to the larger number of active strategies running in parallel, these early exits had only a limited impact on the overall portfolio. The remaining strategies continued to generate profitable basket closures, allowing the account to finish the month with a gain of 4.84%, the strongest result among all 3 configurations. Maximum drawdown reached 15. 32%, remaining almost identical to the medium risk profile and even slightly below the low risk profile. This demonstrates how effectively Burning Grid balances portfolio diversification with capital management. Overall, June showed exactly why the early exit engine is such an important part of the system. It continuously adapts the active portfolio to changing market conditions instead of allowing capital to remain locked in strategies whose probability of success has deteriorated. With all three profiles now covered, let's compare their long-term performance and see how they have evolved since launch. With all three profiles covered, let's take a look at the overall performance. Despite the typical summer slowdown and reduced trading activity, all three Burning Grid signals reached new all-time highs once again. In fact, every public signal achieved a fresh ATH on June 23rd, proving that consistent growth doesn't depend on highly active markets. Before we look at the numbers, please note that all performance figures shown here are based on MyFXBook. Due to different calculation methods, these values may differ from those reported by MetaTrader. According to MyFXBook, the low-risk profile has now reached 226.18% total gain, with a maximum drawdown of 48.30%. The medium-risk profile has grown to 551.63%, while its maximum drawdown stands at 56.04%. The high-risk profile continues to lead the portfolio with an impressive 773.02% total gain and a maximum drawdown of 57.91%. These results clearly demonstrate the scalability of Burning Grid. Increasing the number of parallel strategies significantly improves long-term return potential while keeping the overall risk profile well-balanced. As the number of parallel strategies increases, long-term return potential also increases. At the same time, portfolio diversification and growing account equity help maintain a remarkably consistent risk profile across all three configurations. June also showed the strength of the early exit engine. Even after several adaptive strategy closures across all three profiles, every portfolio continued to grow and finished the month close to its record highs. Another month, another set of all-time highs. Burning Grid continues to deliver consistent long-term performance through adaptive risk management and disciplined portfolio diversification.
There is also an important point about risk, because this is why the system stayed under control. As you can see in the report, the risk framework is very clear. There is a fixed grid depth, and we cap the number of positions per symbol. There is no martingale. Lot sizes come from the risk percent and from the available balance. We use hard exit rules. Every strategy has a predefined end of life, so we never get an infinite grid. And there is an event filter on by default to avoid high-impact news. This is exactly why even a bad sequence stays inside the drawdown envelope of each profile. And please remember, it works better if you run it with enough capital, around $10,000 per profile for the regular mode. And that's it. If you have questions about which risk profile is better for you or anything else, just leave a comment or contact support. You can also check the full statistics on MyFXBook. I'll leave the links in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next month.